evening, everybody. Welcome to my Wednesday night weekly Facebook Live. Thank you to everyone who'll be joining us this evening. I'm just finding this on my iPad so I can follow along the comments. 2 seconds, see if I'm up already. Let's turn the volume down because I don't really want to hear myself. Okay, so everything is in shot, which is great. So, welcome to tonight's live Facebooking. This is the third one I've done in a row, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. So, getting into the swing of it now, I think. Tonight's Facebook Live is a bit earlier. The reason it's a bit earlier is because the new annual catalogue that comes out in June is available for all demonstrators to see from 8 o'clock tonight. So, this is normally at 8:30, and half an hour is just not long enough for me to look at that new catalogue. So, we're bringing it forward a bit. I'm going to be using the Daisy Lane stamp set and the matching medium Daisy Punch. This is available as a bundle in the current catalogue. It's on page, let me have a look, page 23, and it's here for you. So it is available as a bundle, which means you purchase the stamp set and the punch together, you save 10% and it's £32.25. So that is available as a bundle until the end of May. After May, you will be able to buy it separately. I'm just turning this off. Lovely. Okay, so let's get cracking. These are the two cards that we're going to make this evening. I have used some Grapefruit Grove ink and cardstock, and I've used some Pineapple Punch ink as well. So these two ink pads are part of our In Colour collection, which started in 2018. We get them for 2 years, and they will be finishing at the end of May as well. So if you have these items or they're on your wish list, please purchase them sooner rather than later, because once that retiring list comes out tonight, they will sell really super quickly. Okay, so let's get to cracking. We'll make this one first. So we're using a sheet of Grapefruit Grove A4 cardstock, and we're going to trim that down so that we create our card bases. And this is how we create 2 card bases out of 1 piece of card. So I'm using the paper trimmer, and we're going to start by putting in landscape into our trimmer. And we're going to line that up at the halfway point, which is 14.9 centimetres, and we are going to score. Okay, so that is our midpoint of our card, and we're going to pop that in landscape. Get my words out tonight. Put that in portrait into our trimmer at 10.5 centimetres, and we're going to cut. So there we have our 2 card bases for the evening, and then I will cut our layers. So both of these cards I've used a sheet of Whisper White for that background, so we'll cut all of those. So we want a piece for the front and a piece for the inside. So I'm going to take this down by ½ centimetre. So we're going to take that down to 10 centimetres and cut all the way to the bottom. And we're going to do the same with this one. So we need 4 pieces of card in total for our layers. So that one is also 10 centimetres. And then to trim that down by ½ centimetre, we're going to go in at 14.4 centimetres. So this means that this sheet of Whisper White will be exactly ½ centimetre smaller than our card front, so we have a nice border of Grapefruit Grove, we can see. Hi to everyone who's joining tonight, lovely to have you. Hope you're all keeping safe and well. Okay, so there we have our 4 layers, and that is me done with my trimmer for a moment. So we'll start off with 1 card base and 2 pieces of white. We can pop all the rest to one side. Okay, so for our card base, we're just going to fold that in half and use our bone folder to make sure that that edge is nice and crisp. Okay, and then for our front, so this circle here, this lovely stamp here, comes from the Swirly Frames stamp set. And I'm using this large circle here. These are really great for creating backgrounds. So I'm going to stamp this in Grapefruit Grove. I'm actually really going to miss Grapefruit Grove. It's a really lovely, vibrant orange. Okay, so we're going to stamp this so it's roughly in the centre of our card, but towards the top. So centre in the middle, I mean. And then we're just going to push that down. Okay, it's not come out great down there, but hey, it's a handmade card. It's not going to be perfect every time. So there we have our lovely circle, and then this here is our medium daisy. I don't think I've cleaned this. No, I haven't. I'm just going to clean that quickly. That's better. Okay. So, what do I need? I need some spare Whisper White. So this spare piece of Whisper White. Now, how I tend to find punching these out, you want to slide it in like so. So we're going to stamp this first and then we're going to punch it out. So we want to make sure when we stamp with those two leaves sort of directly, almost like a clock face. So we have 12, 3, 6 and 9. Otherwise it becomes really fiddly to punch out. So actually I'm not punching out on that at all. Hi Denise, thanks for joining us. So I'm actually going to stamp this on the card. So that is stamped just there like so. So I don't particularly like that as it is, but all will become clear in a moment. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp another one onto Grapefruit Grove. So I'm using Grapefruit Grove ink onto Grapefruit Grove cardstock, making sure we've got that clock face. So we've got 12, 3, 6 and 9. Stamp that like so. And then this is the one we're going to use, we're going to punch out. So what we're going to do is we're going to line this up. Can you see that? You can't see that, great. So we're going to line it up. It will leave a little border of cardstock around the edges, and we're just going to squeeze until that pops out. And then we have our little daisy all punched out. So see, it leaves a little border of the card, but actually I quite like the colour on colour. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to manipulate this with my fingers to shape the leaves. Okay. And then this one we're going to add to our card. So that'll go on there like so. But now what we want to do first, before we stick that down, we're going to stamp our sentiment. So I am using a sentiment that is really quite old. It is still current for the moment. And it says, I'm lucky to have a friend like you. I think it's really cute. Stamp that. Hi Joe, thanks for joining us. I hope you're okay. Excited about this evening, I hope. So Joe is another demonstrator. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this, the new catalogue goes live for demonstrators tonight. So we're all very excited. So the reason I have stamped this sentiment after, I want to make sure that there's room for that daisy. So that's why I stamped the daisy first. And now I know where the daisy's going, I can stamp our sentiment. There we have. I'm lucky to have a friend like you. Okay, so this one we can now stick down like so. Okay, but what we'll do first is we will attach this to our card front. So that is going to be attached like so. You can see there's that nice border of Grapefruit Grove around the edge still, and I'm just using some Tombow glue to stick this on. This is super sticky, so you don't need much at all. Okay, and then we can stick our lovely daisy on it now that's on. Just lining it up so that those petals that I've stamped underneath, just in between the Grapefruit Grove ones. So you get almost a double flower look, like so. So there we have that one. And then onto the front, I've got a few of these holiday rhinestones. So these were in the autumn winter catalogue and they have carried over, so you can still buy them. They come in 5 different colours. and this lovely orange is one of them. So I'm just going to add these, one there, and I'm going to put one down here because there's a slight mark on this card and I want to hide it. So there we have 2 gems on the front of that card, and then I'm using a Stampin' White marker in black, and I'm just going to doodle a line all the way around the edge. This is one of my favourite techniques. I think it just brings the card all together. This one's actually running out, that's why I use them so much. These are really reasonable actually, these are £2.75 and you can purchase them on their own. Oh no, it's running out, let's see if I can go over that. Okay, I'm not going over that anymore. Right, so there we have our front of our card for our first card, and then we have this other piece here which is going in here like so, and I think I have a blockage with my glue. Oh no, just wasn't squeezing it enough. And then this is our inside piece. And then all I'm going to do to finish this card off is I'm going to stamp another daisy inside, like so. And we'll just turn that at a bit of an angle. There we are. So there is our first card of the evening. That's all using one colour apart from the black. So that would look great in any of the colours that you've got on your desk. Really simple, not a lot going on, but a nice card to send, and I'm sure receive as well. So for our next card, so this is the next one we're going to be making, you can see, and I have used, so we'll go back to our second card base, which we will just fold and then run our bone folder along to make sure that edge is crisp. And then we have our 2 layers, we have one for outside and one for inside. Okay, so we're going to start by stamping our outer layer, and I'm using a selection of Grapefruit Grove and Pineapple Punch, the other colour, one of the other colours in our 2018 to 20 collection. So I'm just stamping these at random on our card until I'm happy, so that's fine. And for the inside one, while I'm using this colour, I'm just going to stamp 2 of them in there. Okay, so we want to clear off, we want to clean our stamp. I'm just using our stamp scrub. The idea is you wet one side with water or stamping mist. So this is stamping mist. So you clean off the excess ink there, and then you dry it over this side. It's a really nice tool to have actually. It keeps your stamps in really good condition. So we're then going to go over to our Pineapple Punch ink, and we'll add in a few more daisies. And these are just going in at random. Oh, I've used the wrong colour, see? Because I've got that second ink pad open. Dun, dun, dun. Let's clear it off. Hopefully that one will be hidden by our rectangle. Right, let's go back to the yellow. It's not the first time I've done that, and I'm sure it won't be the last. I'll do it again then. Okay, so there we have our background of yellow and orange daisies, and I'm going to put this one on the inside there. Okay. So we can actually stick this inside one in, which I will do now. Some more tombow. I find with tombow there is a blockage in that. I'm going to use a different one. Ah, this is better. I will have to unblock that tombow once I am done. So this is just going in the centre of our card, as our inner layer. Okay, and then for our outer layer we can lay this piece, we can stick that piece straight down as well. Lovely and peaceful here tonight. Right, so there we have our outer layer and our inner layer done. So then what we're going to do is we're going to create this frame here. So we're pulling back in our swirly frames and we're using this large rectangle. I'm just going to see if this will fit on here. Let's have a look. These are just scraps of Whisper White. Yes, it will fit on that one. So using Memento ink for this, and this is on one of the large blocks. The Stamparatus would work really well for this stamp. Okay. We'll just push that down nice and firm to make sure we've got everything. Ta-da! Okay, there we have our square. I've missed a piece out just slightly there, but what I'll do is I'll put that in a place where hopefully no one can see it. And then all I'm doing is I'm trimming this out. Just trimming around this edge. Hi to people that are joining. We are on our second card of the evening and we are using the Daisy Lane stamp set and the Daisy Lane punch, and this is the card that we are in the process of making together. Just follow this edge round. Okay. Let's get rid of all of our little cut off bits. Right, so now what we can do, we're going to use some of this Grapefruit Grove grain ribbon, and we're going to tie this around in a bow. So I'm going to tie it around twice. 1, 2, and then we want to make sure that is the same length. Okay, so that is done like so, and then what I do when I'm tying ribbon, I won't tie it like that because I feel like I always get myself in a bit of a mess. I'm using a piece of washi tape just to hold that ribbon in place, like so. It's just a bit of washi tape I've got on my desk, and then that will go on there like so. But first we need to stamp our sentiment up here. So this sentiment does actually come from the Daisy Lane stamp set, and it says, "The best moments in my life happen with you." Okay, so then we're just going to pop that up here. Lovely. And now we can stick this bit onto our card. I'm going to stick this on with some dimensionals. I'm using the normal size dimensionals tonight. These are available in mini size as well, which you'd have seen if you tuned in to me last night. You would have seen me using quite a few on last night's card. I'm just pulling off the backs of these. Oh, wrong card. I've already done that one. So then now we can pop this in the centre, like so, and we can tie our bow. So, dun, dun, dun. I hate tying bows on camera, but you can never do them right. Oh no, don't speak too soon. That's not too bad actually. And then we can trim this one down. And this one. There we are. And now I've cut that one too short, so this one has to go trimmed down as well. There we are. So there is our little trimmed bow. And then onto a spare piece of Whisper White, and this is just a scrap. We're going to stamp 2 more daisies. So I know I used this yellow last. So just stamp that like so. Quickly clean this off because we're now going to stamp with Grapefruit Rose, which is the orange. Okay, so there are our 2 daisies, and we're going to use the punch to just pop those out to save us fussy cutting. And then the second one, there we are. So it punches out lovely. Okay, so these we can stick just onto the bottom. I'm just going to curl these edges ever so slightly. Stick these down with a little bit of Tombow. I'm just sticking these on the edge. I quite like this little frame. It's quite delicate, I think. I know I've stamped it in black, but it still feels a bit delicate. Okay, so there we have our 2 little daisies on there. And then we need to do this friend. Now that has been heat embossed, so I'm just going to put that to one side. Now I've finished with my ink pads. I'm going to close those up. And then what I have here is I have a strip of basic black. It's just a scrap piece of basic black, and we have this friend stamp. So I'm going to need, first of all we need our embossing buddy, so that's this here. All you do is you just run it over your cardstock, and it takes off all the static, so it means you get a real better finish with your embossing. And this is like a sticky ink pad. So I've stamped, you can just about see it. I'll bring that up to the camera so you can see. So you can just about see it. So that is sticky, and then we're going to add some white Stampin' Emboss powder to that. So that's in this little tub here. Like so. And because I'm going to trim this round, I've actually got a little bit of excess there, but I'm going to trim that off anyway. So then we're going to use the heat tool to just heat that, and it's just like a hairdryer, but the air is a lot hotter, and this will then set it, and it will make it look quite vibrant against the black there. So you can see that's just about, it's just turning, and it looks really lovely against the black cardstock. Okay. So that's that done like so, and then what I'll do is I'll just trim this round. And all I'm doing is I'm just following the format of the letter. I don't want to cut into them too much. Ooh. Next door's playing football again. I think it's an early evening thing. Wearing him out before bed. Okay, so there we have our heat embossed sentiment. So then all we do is we're going to add that onto our card front, like so. Just there, so it overhangs the edge. And then to finish, we've got a couple of little rhinestones, the holiday rhinestones. I'm just going to pop those on our card. So that's the second card of the evening all done for you. So we've got a lovely background of stamped daisies, and I've used Grapefruit Grove and Pineapple Punch. I got in a bit of a muddle with my stamping earlier as well, and you can't see it. I've managed to cover that up quite nicely. You've got some lovely Grapefruit Grove ribbon which matches our cardstock and our stamping, 2 more punch daisies, and then some sentiments and a bit of heat embossing. So that was our second card tonight, and our first card looked like this. So a real simple one. I've used that real nice the circle from the Swirly Frames set, bit of stamping. I've shown you there what it looks like when you use the same colour to stamp on the cardstock, punched it out, stuck it back on, and there's another one inside. So that's me done for the evening. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. All of those products will be available on my blog tomorrow. They are available to purchase as a bundle, the Daisy Lane stamp set and the punch. You can purchase those as a bundle until the end of May and save yourself 10%. And I will find out tonight if that is carrying over into the new catalogue, because I am off at 8 o'clock, an hour and 4 minutes to go, to see the new catalogue that's coming in June, which I'm really excited about. So have a lovely evening, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.